What is going on, everybody? I am Jordan Espeseth, your host. Welcome to DFW's Real Estate Best podcast. This week, as always, we have some amazing guests that will be joining us. One of who is one of our incredible Real Producers vetted business partners. He is a young and hungry, very successful loan officer at Movement Mortgage. And the other is a very successful real estate agent who, again, just qualified for the North Dallas Top 500 that we sent out this week and has an incredibly awesome story. And so if you want to hear their stories, how they got to where they're at now, and what motivates them to continually produce at such a high level, then tune in right now. All right, let's do this. I am pumped to get rocking and rolling. Feels like it's been a minute since I've done one of these podcasts, but every time I do it, I have such a blast connecting with one of our partners and a top producing agent. And I want to give, first off, before we hop in, want to give a quick shout out to Lyndon and The Difference, who is what our podcast is powered by. And The Difference, they provide video and video branding and digital business development solutions for small businesses and entrepreneurs who are local and even statewide. And in 2021, I think they just missed the 1 million view marker. If I believe they were at like 950,000 views / listens on The Difference, and pretty incredible. And so they can help any business grow their brand awareness, develop a message that humanizes their business in a way that will grow your brand, expand your connections, your relationships, increase your influence, your relevance, and quickly help you become known as a power player, mover, and shaker in your sphere, your community, your industry, and in the business world. So as always, big shout out to Lyndon, big shout out to The Difference. We love doing our podcast through y'all. Man, so DFW's Real Estate Best, our podcast is obviously based off of Real Producers Magazine. And for those of you that don't know, if you've been hiding under a rock, or if you haven't been on Facebook, especially the last couple of days, you've probably seen a lot of, as Mark puts it, there's just been a lot of baby blue filling the news feed right now, because we just sent out the top 2,000 okay, get my words right. To the top 2,000. Wow, that was a tough one. To the top 2,000 real estate agents in DFW, based off of roughly 60,000 agents, by the way. We sent out the top 2,000 real estate agents a congrats text and email, giving them their badge for making the top 500 in their respective markets. We have 4 real producers now in DFW, and that's all we're going to have. That is it. That encompasses Fort Worth, North Dallas, the top 500 producing real estate agents in each of those markets based off their MLS production for the year. And with those, we create a community around those agents, and we have a monthly publication that's physical and digital that shares their stories, the cream of the crop. We take a glimpse into their personal lives, their families, their teams, and we truly get to hear their story of how they got to where they're at. And the publication is beautiful. I don't know why I don't have them in my hand right now, but we have that monthly publication that goes out. We do events on a regular basis. And one of the things I love about Real Producers, and the agents love about Real Producers, is we're not a pay-to-play model, right? Every agent that's a part and that makes the cut, it's based off of their data. These agents don't pay to get our logo. If they get our magazine, it's based off of production. If they get featured within the publication, it's based off of nominations, and then they had to be in the top 500, right? It's nothing that they pay for. So it's truly authentic in terms of not being a pay to play model. These agents love that. You got to earn your way in. And, same with the businesses that we work with. It's the other thing I love about Real Producers. We have the best producing real estate agents about a part of our platform, but we also have the best, most highly recommended and vetted businesses that partner with us. They've all come recommended to us by the highest producing real estate agents. They've been vetted by us. We hold them to a high standard. And so we truly have within Real Producers the best producing real estate agents and the best businesses all coming together through a publication that connects us all, that unites us all, events that are exclusive for those agents and for those businesses. And man, we started a little over 3 years ago in the North Dallas market. Then we got Dallas. Now we have North Fort Worth. Fort Worth is going to launch here later this year. And we're just so excited about the community that's been built with these top producing agents and the businesses. And each week with our podcast, we get to bring on one of our top producing agents, one of our business partners. We get to jam out. You guys get to take more of an in-depth look of their lives and who they are, how they get to where they're at, what's going on in their worlds. And it's one of my favorite things to do each week. I always have a blast. We always learn a lot, and we get to know these people on a deeper level. So I'm gonna stop jibber jabbering, and we're gonna invite on our two guests. And so our first person is someone that I met. He's one of our partners. I met him, man, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I don't know the exact date, but we'll share a bit about the story. But we both moved to DFW roughly around the same time. I think like a month different. But he's young like myself, and he's done incredible. He's a very hungry and motivated person. He's a friend of mine, and that is Mr. Mark Koretsky. So Mark, come on in here.
What is up, man?
What is going on, man? Do you play that guitar, or is that just for looks?
That is just for show.
Hey, I got one as well. Here, that's hilarious. That is just for show as well.
There you go. There you go.
That's amazing, man. Hey, stay tuned. Let me get Courtney in here. Let me intro her, and we'll get jamming. But the other person is someone that I met, I think 3 years ago. And I was looking through some of my notes. I keep notes. If you're a business owner, hopefully you do that. And I actually realized this. I met her at the Seppies, and I put quotations. She said, "You don't know me yet," when she walked up to me, "but you will." And we certainly know who she is. She is number 204. I don't think I told her that, but she's number 204 on her top 500 for North Dallas. She is amazing human, amazing real estate agent, Miss Courtney Benson. Come on in here.
That DFW Real Estate Queen.
What's up, DFW Real Estate Queen?
I panicked when you said come in here, and then I was like, I hope I don't have to hit a button.
Yeah. Hit the button.
Totally botched my entry.
Yeah.
I did say that to you.
Yeah.
I do remember that. And I said, you don't know me yet, but you will.
Yeah. I love that. I was going through the notes. I was like, that's right. She did say that to me.
That's so funny. It's crazy. Tom Brady just retired this week, but I will never forget that Rob Kraft quote of Tom Brady coming up to him being that 199th pick and saying, "I'm the best pick you've ever picked." And I feel like a lot of the time we just need to have that personal confidence to then let our personality shine. And then all of a sudden, Courtney, your charismatic self comes out, and then all of a sudden you're blowing up on TikTok. So I know you're excited to talk about that. And Jordan, thank you so much for having us both.
Yes, thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm grateful that y'all are on. This is again one of my favorite things to do. And so it's like, we featured Mark's features coming out here soon. I was just looking at it. It's got a Russia thing to it. It's really sweet. And then Courtney, you guys have done the features. Now it's like, this is like the visual representation of it to a certain extent. So I love doing this. And guys, I want to have everybody very quickly before we kind of dive in and start talking, but I want you guys to explain a little bit about your story. And I think we'll start with Courtney. People oftentimes, and one of the things I love about real producers, lots of people just go, "Oh, that's a top agent, and then they produce this much, and that's all they know about them," and they're like, "Oh, they," and if you're not a top producing agent, a lot of times they envy those people, or we make judgments about those people. Oh, well, they're this or they're that, and they don't. What I find is that when people truly hear our stories, they hear our journeys along the way, we have a different level of respect and understanding for those people. And, Courtney, I remember, your story is awesome. Just, and so if you could, you are 204 in North Dallas, which is an amazing thing, but take us back.
That was like 499.
Yeah. We grandfathered you in. You were actually like 1,000, but
501.
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah, we just we like you, so we just.
I appreciate it. I'll take that too. Shoot.
But no, tell us a little bit about again where you grew up, how you got to where you at, some of the things you had to go through.
Yeah.
What led you to being right here, right now?
So I grew up in California. I'm from Central California, from a little town called Paso Robles, and nobody knows where Paso Robles is, but now they are on the map because they make all the wine. So you're seeing a lot of wine come out of that area, and grew up there and moved to Las Vegas my junior year of college. Graduated from UNLV and then moved to DFW. I was working in luxury cosmetics and I did that for 14 years. I was a makeup and trainer for MAC. I did makeup for celebrities, pop stars, award shows, you name it. Did that for 14 years. And then finally I was like, I am too old to put glitter eyeliner on my eye one more time. Had babies, quit. And my husband, Gabe, who's also a agent with me on a team. Gabe's amazing. So Gabe working for Beckett. He is a graphic novelist, comic book writer. He used to write scripts in Hollywood, lived in LA for a while. Same with me. And anyways, I quit my job to stay home with my kids. And then 2 weeks later, he got laid off. And he was the last employee that Dr. Beckett had, laid him off. So we were like, you know what we should do? It was 2008. We should buy dry cleaners. So literally, I don't even think we did dry cleaning. Like that's, that seems easy. We should do that. So we bought 2 dry cleaners in Frisco. Had those for 3 years. It is a tough business. And of course, always do my own thing. So I had like little boutique in one dry cleaner where we sold local goods, handmade stuff. It was a very cool concept, but it was just tough. I mean, it took all of our time. It took all of our money. When your bills every month are $30,000 just to own 2 dry cleaners and you're cleaning shirts at about $25 a piece. I mean, that's rough. It's rough.
A lot of shirts.
Yeah. So be nice to your dry cleaner. It's rough. So I started doing interior design boards just because people were like, I'm not an interior designer, but they're like, we like your style. Anyways, a Groupon popped up one day when we had $127 in our bank account, and I bought it for $100 for real estate classes, and called my husband in tears that I had spent all of our money. And he said, you're going to be great. I have no doubt. And took me a year. I mean, best $100 I've ever spent. I'll tell you. So we jokingly referred to me as the Groupon realtor.
That's right.
And I mean, we had nothing. We had to sell our house because we couldn't make the payments. We moved in with my mother-in-law. And it was just pure hustle and heart. And I couldn't not succeed because we had to eat. And, I think I have a really strong work ethic. I came from a very successful family. My dad was an entrepreneur, very business oriented. My mother is exceptionally talented. So, I mean, I had a good base, and then just ran with it. And I was busy, really honest from day one, taking care of people.
And I had the numbers written from before. I think the classes were $199. Mm-hmm. And you told me, I think you had $237 in your
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Yeah, they were $199. Now that I say it, that sounds pretty cheap, huh?
Yeah. ROI.
I'm blocking it out. I also cleaned houses for a living. Gabe and I went and cleaned houses for a year, started my own house cleaning business. Our neighbor watched the kids for free, and we would go clean houses for cash. I mean, we did whatever we could to put food on the table. But yeah, we had no money to speak of, and I spent it all.
When people's backs are against the wall, you either you don't have many options. It's either succeed or just drown. You know what I mean? And I can relate to that as well. And I think it can be a great place to be. I think a lot of people never get to a place where their back is against the wall, which can be a really bad thing for them because then they just stay stagnant. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need to hit a super low point in order to get going. And I love that. Couple fun facts that I also had written down. You worked on some boy bands like people like LFO. big LFO guy back in the day.
Oh.
Sugar Ray.
O-Town.
Yeah, O-Town, that's right. Britney Spears' Lips I have written down.
Here's Christina Aguilera.
Yeah.
The lady who played Stifler's mom. I don't even remember.
Yes. That's
Oh
right.
man, blast from the past.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
then Gabe, I had written down, who worked on Terminator 3 writing, right? That's pretty awesome. That's look from there to where you're at now. What a change of lifestyle.
You know, when you're going through it, and when we were going through it, and it was so miserable and dark and depressing, and I couldn't imagine a way out. And we both made 6-figure incomes prior to losing it all. So, you know, and that was rough to go from that and then losing everything. And then you really kind of just lose hope quickly. I was surprised at how quickly I lost hope, and I thought, oh, this is it, you know. And then I thought, no, like, we have 2 babies, get it together. We spent $60 a week on groceries, and you know, I just put my head down and went for it. And you know, it's crazy to look back and think of going through all that. But, you know, we joke because we drive past where our dry cleaner was all the time, and they went out of business. The one, we had one on Custer and 121. And I said, while I would never want to go through that again, I'm glad we went through it, because we wouldn't be where we are now had we not gone through it. And you really get a big dose of gratitude when you do fight. Totally. Like that. And I mean, it was hard on us, hard on our marriage, hard on us individually. I mean, I was like, look, no one's going to want us, so we might as well just stay together. You know what I mean? So, and now we work together again in a different capacity. And I mean, I'm the boss this time, so it works.
Right.
But and we work really well together. So,
well, the appreciation you have, you know, you wouldn't have had, like you said, the same appreciation for where you guys are at now if you wouldn't have been where you were. And so, you know, it gives a good, healthy dose of perspective for sure. We're going to piggyback, I'm sure, on a lot of things you just said. I want to give loan officer Mark a chance. Again, love his story too. And because when I connected with him, I think you moved here like March of 2018. I believe I was February of 2018. We're similar in age. And so, and I mean,
you know, rock bottom is a good place to build a foundation on top of. Right?
Yeah, so true. It's so true. And you've built an incredible business, Mark, like, especially being young, coming into a market where you don't really know anybody, and to build the business that you have is really impressive. And so first off, kudos to you, but give us a little history. How did that come to be, and how did you get to where you're at right now?
Yeah, sometimes you're just naive and ignorant enough to just go for it and not know any better. And that's really kind of my story. I've got a long story. Jordan, you know, and Lyndon in the background, you know, I love talking about me. But first generation immigrant. I was born in Russia. Moved to America when I was 7. Grew up in the Boston area. Went to school in the Northeast. Went and started doing mortgages after college in Maryland. And quickly realized that I love doing what I do, but I can do what I do anywhere. And why am I in one of the most expensive places in the country? And then was presented this insane opportunity to come to Dallas, looked around at our real estate market and everything going on. And really my only regret is not coming and finding out about DFW sooner. And so, Jordan, I was here February of 18 to check it out. And then I ended up taking March off of work and was here like first week of April of 18. And very quickly, as I was coming in here, I made my living and really was a specialist on the refinance side of the business. And I was like, I'm going to be a purchase specialist, and I'm going to be a referral based business, even though I had never done that before. And as all of you watching and listening know, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to do, especially when you don't know anybody in the area. And so I fell flat on my face. And like Courtney, like you, Jordan, really hit rock bottom and started building a foundation on top of that. And just kind of kept trying to be better that day than I was the day before. Right. And I I'm a value first guy. I've followed Gary Vee since the very beginning. And so really the way that I've built my business and my brand and my reputation is really by trying to go out there and bring value to the market, the community, the producers, and really try to help the new agents really pick up these tactics and strategies that the real producers already know in their DNA, but the new guys really don't have that education. And so I love being a resource for them. I love being a resource for everybody, and kind of a mortgage nerd and real estate nerd when it comes down to it. So anytime we're talking real estate, mortgage financing, I'm all in. Let's go.
Unfortunately, you can't say mortgage nerd. It's like it's coined. You know what I mean?
She's done an unbelievable job with her branding.
Yeah, I'm sure that's frustrating for so many people. It's like it's because it's so.
Well, no, she was one of the models that I really looked at as far as a professional, a self-sourced originator, and the personal brand that she's created and crafted. Like, it's something to definitely strive for.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that though. And you are someone who you are a nerd. And when it comes to mortgages, man, every time I talk to you, I don't know, it's like whether it's 7 a.m. or midnight, like you're just playing with numbers and just trying, and systems. And I love that. I think you're an entrepreneur at heart. Everyone on this, so we're entrepreneurs. Uh-oh. Am I cutting out? Am I here?
You are a little bit. But I mean, as much as I am now really operating as an entrepreneur, we're not made this way. Like, we're not educated to be this. And I think that's one of the biggest things that really, Courtney, through your story, you figured out how to overcome. And that's what an entrepreneur has to do every single day. Mm-hmm. And so I think at the end of the day, it's how many problems can you solve that day and how many additional ones can you add to your plate? And if you do both, then you've had a good day.
Being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. That's for sure. And I'm curious for you guys too. It's one thing you guys we've all here have hit a rock bottom, which helped us push through to have success. I think anyone that has success, the next place our mind goes is, will I sustain the success? And I'm sure you've all had those thoughts and those doubts and those, things. What is it for you guys? What do you need to do? Like, how have you sustained your success? We'll start with Courtney. Like, when it comes, what would you say attributes to your success? Like, obviously, it was probably raw, just grit and determination to get to where you're at and to pull through from the place you were. But to sustain that, like, what have you learned? What have you had to do to be like, I need to keep this going? Has there been key people, key things you've done, strategies? Like, what is that?
Yeah. And, I think for me, I have such a good group of people behind me and a support team. And, Gabe is my rock for all the things, my family, our team, Doris, Chris, all of them on our team. Like, and so because I get panicked, and I've talked to other top producers. We've got, some top producers in this neighborhood that crafts with Remax, and they've been doing this for decades. And we have the same conversation. Like, is this it? Is this the last house we sell? And should I just go apply at Whataburger now or tomorrow? Like, what do I do? So that panic and that feeling kind of never goes away. And then Gabe will talk me off the ledge. And I realize, even if I failed, or sometimes failure to me it looks like success to other people. We all have different thresholds of what we think is a success for ourselves. But I'll never be alone. They'll never let me be homeless. My family will always be taken care of. So I know that in my core that I'm loved and I'm taken care of. So whatever else I do is just a bonus. Mm-hmm. Like, no one's gonna let me fall off the edge of the earth. And, sometimes I push it, but no one's going to let me. And that does, when I think about it, the gratitude of that gives me comfort to be who I am. And I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm quirky. I talk a lot. I'm weird. I like to make Mark uncomfortable.
I live for uncomfortable, so the
the
problem is I enjoy it.
I am aggressive. I can be tough. I mean, you name it. There's all different aspects of me, but because I have all the people behind me who cheer me on and support me and tell me when I am out of bounds, that gives me a platform to be who I am.
I think
I appreciate that.
I think you nailed it. And that was something that I had to learn as well. I think it's good to kind of be like, hey, like if like you paint a worst case scenario in your own head of like, what would happen if like, this was my last home, this was my last loan, this was my last ad I ever sold. Right. And everything like went away. Like, and if you have that faith that like, I'm going to be fine. Like I'll still be good. Like I got support. I got, like I'm going to be okay. It gives you more courage. It gives you more peace, which allows you to be better. Like at the end of the day, having that gratitude, knowing that you're going to be okay, worst case scenario, allows you to perform at a higher level so that you continue to have the success that you have. But so many of us get in that fear bubble, which I believe is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because if you stay there, you likely might create that reality. It's okay to go there. You're right. Like we all go there, but we got to bounce back to being like, no, I'm good.
I've had a tough January. It's been horrible. I took like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Like I've just to the point where I'm like, what is happening? Like, come on, God, what's going on? Totally. And I just have. So what do? I just keep being myself. Like you get self-doubt. Like Mark and I talked about this the other day, and I love TikTok. Yes, I'm a almost 45-year-old woman who loves TikTok. And that's okay. That's who I am. And then I'm like, should I do this or should I do that? And even my neighbor next door, she's a big entrepreneur, has a huge gift company. And she's the same thing. Just be yourself. Just be yourself and your people will find you. And if they don't find you, they're not your people. And, good heart, good at what you do. And, that's really, I think what keeps me going. Because like I said, January's been tough. I was like, is this depressed January? Is that what dry January? No, it's depressed January. Yeah. I'm sitting and February's here. So, bring it. And you just have to keep going and you have to keep working and stay true to yourself. And I think a lot of agents and I get asked all the time, like, well, how do you do as much business or how do you do these things? And there is no magic course. There is no silver bullet. Like you show up every day, you do the things you don't want to do, but you have to be yourself. You have to be authentic because you can tell when people aren't authentic. And I think that so just being myself, that's really kind of what keeps me going.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like 2020, January as well, has been like a month-long 2021 hangover or something, because it's been a battle of a month.
It's continuation of March 2020.
What's that?
It's been a continuation of March 2020.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Groundhog Day, like day in and day out. There's so much to what you were just saying, Courtney. Like, yes, number one, like your vibe totally attracts your tribe, but we all get hit in the face at one point or another, right? And are we actually equipped to stand up and fight another day? Mm-hmm. And I think the biggest key to my success has been really putting in that time and discipline in the early morning and working on myself and then creating commitments and actually sticking to them and accomplishing them that ultimately just created that self-confidence. Mm-hmm. And I think if we can put these little goals on our list and we can get them accomplished, we can then wake up grateful for what we did and grateful for who we work with and what we do. And I think that's where all of a sudden your personality and really what you put out in the world starts manifesting, and then you start attracting the right people to you. And so I think creating that time, I know Linda and I have talked about it. It's one of the hardest things to do right now with the information overload. But I imagine, Jordan, you had some conversations in the mirror yourself. And I think if we really think back on it, those were the conversations and the moments that really created that change.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I love getting practical on the show, too. I'm curious for you, Mark. when you say like taking care of that morning, what is that for you? Like, what do you do before, the day goes haywire? Like what does that morning look like for you?
Well, so if anybody hasn't read it, Miracle Morning and then Miracle
Oh,
Morning
right.
for Real Estate Agents, also a really good book. But Miracle Morning preaches basically the life savers. So it's silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing or journaling.
Yeah.
My morning, really, I wake up, I've got my Spotify motivational tracks, I've got my YouTube motivational tracks going. Go for a walk around the neighborhood with the dog, get some kind of light exercise in. I'm building out a gym at my house. I've got a punching bag now. And so
Yeah, that's
I
right.
very much am enjoying that this morning, or each morning really. And then good healthy meal, clean out the email, get ready for the day. And then now that I've really implemented the 12-week year, now it's really like, how much can I get done today? Because I know what's there, what needs to get done. And it's like, how big of a dent can I make in it?
I
So
love that. Yeah.
You're like the complete opposite of me. You've like got all the textbook, like healthy responses. I roll out of bed at 5 a.m., sometimes 4, make coffee, drink way too much coffee, whilst I watch TikTok on the couch with my dogs. And then when I'm done with that, I'll turn on my 600-Pound Life for a few. Watch that because that's my favorite show on TV.
this is how you become grateful for your life.
This is how I become ready for my day. And then at 7 o'clock, I yell at everybody to wake up, maybe answer emails that came through after I fell asleep at 9 p.m. Like, like this is, but you know what? To each their own, right? Like, however you get going. Like, I need my time in the morning, and then when the kids get ready for school, I go to my neighbor's house and we have coffee and we talk business because again, she's an entrepreneur, owns her own company, very successful, and we talk business and ideas and feed off of each other. But yeah, I feel like I need maybe a healthier balance in the morning.
Well, it's funny. I've talked to hundreds of top producing real estate agents and business owners, and there's not always a lot of like consistency in what makes someone successful. Like
can make $1 million in real estate and in this business a million different ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, the only thing that matters is, are you enjoying your life at the end of the day? Because there's too many that aren't.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, I totally agree with that. And I found that if people are just being authentic to themselves, don't get me wrong, we should all read what other successful people do, but we need to make it our own. But we need to if we're authentic to ourselves, that will create success. I mean, everyone talks about, you have to have big goals. You need to write your goals and do all that. And I'm someone that does that. But one of the most successful realtors here, Colleen Frost, never does that. She believes in no goals means no limits. And so like, if she's just a dreamer, like she's always dreaming big, but she's not writing it down. But if you go to personal development seminars, they'd say, what are you doing? You're doing it wrong. But she's doing what is right and authentic to her. And it's probably the number one thing. If people were to say like, what makes someone successful? I would say like be authentic to who you are. And if you are that, people love authenticity. So you will attract people, that are, Mark said it, your vibe attracts your tribe. But if you're authentic, people resonate with that. And I think that alone will breed. No one likes someone who's fake, who's trying to be someone else, who's trying to do things. You can tell, like, you can just tell, if that's not you. And so being authentic is probably one of the number one things. If I were to say, oh yeah, like this leads to success. Like people who are successful, they're authentic to themselves.
I feel like I always disappoint people when they ask what I do, and I'm like, I don't know, like you just do. And that it's funny. I was introduced to Brian Buffini, and he's one of the only ones that I've like taken a class and done stuff with because I had that connection, because that's just how I work in that very client focused kind of thing. But I don't have strict routine or a meditation or a, exercise routine to speak of, and I feel like, so maybe it's hard to duplicate or whatever, but I think whatever you do that gets you going, like at the end of the day, my motivation is, I don't want to have to make decisions in my life because I have run out of options.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, and I have a phrase that I say that's probably not fit for podcast. That sums it up real tight. But I don't want to have to make decisions for myself and my family because I'm out of options. I've done that before. I swore I would never do it again. And so that keeps me going. I mean, I'll still sit on the couch and watch Judge Judy, but then I'm like, well, someone's going to want to eat soon. I guess I should get up and go to work, or, but in this business, we know we work all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm awake, I will answer client calls. I want to make sure that they're taken care of. And that's just how we work. But someone asked us the other day, one of our clients was like, aren't you tired? Aren't you burnt out? And Gabe and I both laughed. We're like, no, we love it. Like, yes, some days I'm like, oh my God, my phone's giving me anxiety. But at the end of the day, I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Like, this is it. So I'm like, I don't want to do anything else. So this better work.
People will burn out and be tired really quick if they're not being authentic to themselves, because they're trying to be something that they're not. And that is extremely exhausting. I'm sure we've all done that. I know I have, and it's one of the most exhausting things ever. And so by the fact that you and Gabe love what you do, you're authentic in what you do, it's not hard. I mean, it's hard, but it's not exhausting in that regard.
Well, and when I started, I was like, I had a client, we were in the car and we were at an open house, and there were all these people and all these agents got out, these older women, and they had suits and pantyhose on and name tags. And he looked at me and he's like, where's your name tag and your pantyhose? I said, do you want the house or do you want me to look like that? What do you want? Because I'll get you the house. I'm not going to put on pantyhose to do it. But I was like, and then I vacillate, like, should I be a suit person? Should I be? And then at the end of the day, I'm not. I'm quirky and I'm just myself. I am smart. I'm very good at what I do, but I will likely roll up in some ripped jeans and
a Range Rover.
And a Range Rover. Yeah, and that's just me. And I don't want to be different. I think at this age, I'll be 45 in May. At this age, if I can't be myself, then it's not worth doing. I don't want to be anybody else. I kind of like me.
That's good. That is good. It's good to like us, right? Good to like yourself.
I mean, we're probably in the minority there. Like, if you look at,
I'm liking me. Wait, I don't think.
Yeah. Not many people like you, Courtney. So at least you got yourself.
No, I'm actually liking yourself.
I find comfort in myself. Thank you.
Courtney and I, we share the self-awareness and like
we do
the personal, like we root ourselves on every single day.
Yeah, we spent 5 minutes the other day talking about all the adjectives that describe me.
Oh, she listed off like 15 or 20, like ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm like thinking of like, can I add one or two? And like, nope, she's already covered it.
She's already said them all.
Self-aware. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to be self-aware.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I'm going to change. I'm just aware. I said those are my toxic traits and my non-toxic traits.
But I mean, the self-awareness, and I guess to go back to like the structure that I'm creating in my life, I've always been like an agent of chaos, and like I thrive under anarchy, which is why like I love what I do and I'm good at what I do. But like to do what I actually want to do and produce at the level that I want to produce, but actually have the customer service and the attention to detail and the white glove treatment, that can't happen with me chasing a million different squirrels running in a bunch of different directions. And so it was the self-awareness in who I am and what my strengths are, but also the self-awareness of like really what my weaknesses are, that has created this focus on systems and intentionality and really looking at time and opportunity cost of that time. But that's not who I was. Like if somebody showed me and what I'm doing today and my calendar that's literally time blocked now all day, I would have gotten a panic attack and then told you were crazy. But like what we do day in and day out, it ends up kind of, you've got to be able to pivot, and you've got to be able to realize where not only your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, and try to put people and automation and systems in place to try to both bring more of the good and then reduce the ugly as much as you can.
Yeah, I think the constant learning when you're an entrepreneur, and if you're, like all of us, we could get to a certain level by ourselves. And, there's a certain level that's manageable to do real estate on your own, loans on your own, for me, magazines on my own, right? There's a certain level where it's like, no, I can handle this. I can have my life, but then there's a lot of us, and that's good. Like, some people want that, and that's an amazing thing. And if that's where they want to be, some people have too much business coming in or want more business. And if you want to go to another level, that's when you have to like learn systems. How do I hire? How do I put this together? And that bridge from like being just you and your business to like adding people is such it's a daunting leap for a lot of people. And for one, it's because you have to put words and systems to the things that you do that you would just do. But if you want other people to replicate it and do it, like, you have to have a system in place. And that is like, that is a constant learning thing. And even right now, like I told you guys, I'm responding to all these messages and stuff that we sent out. And I had to do it this year because sometimes you have to learn and do it yourself. But right now I'm already thinking like, okay, next year we're going to do this. I need to have this in place. I need to have that in place so that I can have a life. Because if we take on everything our own, we will not have a life, and we can't be authentic to ourselves if we're constantly stressed, constantly, managing tasks. And like Mark said, like, there's a million different squirrels. And if we don't find people to fill those places, it can rule our life. And so,
well, then
very quickly,
like doing that task, then you're not feeling like you really want to go out and do what it is that you're good at. Like when questions come up about paperwork or commission forms or whatever through Coldwell Banker, and I'm like, oh, Gabe, like, I don't know, how that, and Gabe's on it. Gabe does that, but Gabe's not going to go make a TikTok. Gabe's not going to go video doing, like, you have to find those people, and you have to find what you love. And if you don't, because I was doing those things before and I just felt like weighted down. It wasn't like I ran out of time. I had time to do it, but I just felt beat down by it. Like, this is horrible. I don't want to spend time putting people in a database for that's just not my jam. So, but it's other people's jam. So so fantastic.
Imagine looking at today's market without having that database in place, right? Like, there's no inventory out there. And if you don't have the ability to actually go to your network and manifest inventory, like, we're all spinning our wheels, right? And so it's having that, like, continuing to do, but then realizing, like, the more you have on your list and the more you're trying to multitask, like, the less gets done.
Yeah.
And it's a super uncomfortable feeling, but delegating that out it's liberating once it's actually done.
What I like for me, I like to contact everybody. Like, I'll at night, like the other night, well, a couple weeks ago or whatever, when it got really cold and it, like, all of a sudden, and I text all my clients while we were sitting there. I don't know what Gabe was watching. I wasn't paying attention, but we were sitting there together, and I text everybody like, hey, make sure your faucets are covered, or hey, go cover your agave plants because they're about to get toast, and it just, because I want to make sure my clients are good, my friends are good. Like, I want to take care of them. So, like, they say don't outsource your core competency.
Yeah.
And my core competency is that I just want to take care of everybody. So I don't want to hire anyone or bring anyone in to do that for me. I stage the houses myself because I'm type A. I do, so there's things I love doing that is my way of showing love to that person that I don't want to app for me. Like,
Yeah.
like when you get a text from me, it's like legit me. Like usually it comes with like a Bitmoji or like a hey, like, but I don't, and it's very time consuming, but I do it because that to me is one of my core competencies is that people come to me because they know I will take care of you. Come hell or high water, no matter what it is, I'm going to take care of you from start to finish. And I feel like I'm known for that, and I embrace that. Even though it takes a lot of time and energy and emotion, I still do it.
Well, being that you're in a relationship business, it's probably not a bad thing to continually be building relationships with people, right?
You'll be surprised at how many agents I talk to that outsource that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm just like, really? Like, okay.
I'm sure there's certain like there's probably certain touch points and things you can do that are automated, but yeah, you have to have a level of personal touch or else, it becomes transactional and not relational, and that's not good for a business.
Right.
Mark, last year, what was your greatest win as you've grown? And then as you look to this year, like 2022, like what are you most excited for? What's on the 2022 goal list?
Well, so last year was a year of overcoming for me. It was a year of battling. I spent the entire year focused on systems and developing all of the stuff that was all foreign to me. And so the fact that all of that is now in place going into this year, that is the biggest win. But really, with that focus the entire year, I am so grateful for the production that actually was created through the year. This year, I'm looking to basically combine 2020 and 2021 production in 1 year without working as many hours as I did last year. So it's a grueling, daunting challenge, but it's what excites me and it's what makes me get up at 5 a.m. every morning and like excited to take on the day. But I'm looking to help 200 families with financing, and that would be about 55 million or so if we accomplish that. Last year, I was just below 100, and then 2020 it was like 115 or so. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot to bite off, but it's what makes me wake up in the morning. So I'm excited about it.
I think that's a hard part that for most entrepreneurs to grasp is when sometimes you get to a point in your business where you need to slow down so that you can spring forward, and like like you said, you took most of last year where I'm sure you slowed down in a lot of, if you wouldn't have focused on those businesses, you probably could have plowed through and you probably could have helped a lot more people, but you probably wouldn't have set yourself up for long-term success. Like we talked about at the beginning, right? How do you create success? How do you maintain success? You spent this year slowing down a bit so that you could pour into your future business. And that's great, man. I mean, that's a hard thing to like do because we all have a bit of ego and pride. And we want to show better numbers.
I got used to 3Xing my business every year. And so it was like, what am I doing? Like the stuff I'm doing, like, I know it's important, but like, it's not income producing. Like, go do something income producing. And then I'd be like, no, like slap myself on the back of the head. Like, no, you need to do this.
Well, you set yourself up, man, for long-term success, which is great. I'm excited for you. Courtney, last year, biggest win, favorite part of last year, and then looking forward to this year. What's on the goal sheet?
Well, see, last year we Doris joined us and Chris Tucker, so we got a couple new team members. So we're excited to have them, and we're like this hysterical family, all four of us. We're really fun to work with. We're a good time. I think last year and what I'm seeing this year too, it's hard. Like I was talking to an agent the other day, they had 85 offers. And when I called her about our offers, she had a little bit of a toot at first. And, I was like, I get it. Like you are so sick of us calling. We ended up on the phone for 30 minutes and her and I had, and she's a real producer as well. We had a really great conversation. And it made me realize that we went through last year with sometimes limited open houses because people were still worried about masks and COVID and all those things that, we weren't getting people out. in that a lot of people compromised their ethics last year trying to get clients' houses. And her and I had the conversation and saying we've been threatened by agents, we've been bribed. I mean, you name it. I mean, I had one guy call me until midnight, and finally I was like, and he's an agent. I'm like, one more time, and we're gonna have an issue. Like, it's amazing that people will compromise their ethics, and we don't do that. We still get the job done without doing that. And
Love that.
That's really big for us. I had a really cool thing last year, and we had a call from, she found me online. Apparently she Googled 10 best realtors in Dallas, and somehow my name comes up. So
all right.
to Jordan in the SEO. So she called me because it shows I'm from California, and she was from California. And anyways, we started talking to her, and we closed a $2 million house with her through an online, just reached out, Googled, saw me online, and now we're helping her husband with his company that is, well above $60 million commercial deal. So
that's amazing.
That just the contacts, and it's, again, goes back to being authentic, being a good person, being good to them, and having their best interest. And if you do those things and master those things, you have no idea the opportunities that come to you. And then, this year I'm just being open to everything that comes my way. Like, I've had people reach out to me for a variety of things, and I'm like, I try not to think about it, and I'll just go, yep, let's do it. And then see where it goes. And you know what? It's fun, and it leads to more opportunities and, living my life. And I like that. So I'd like more of that this year, more opportunities to, connect with people, do different things and stuff like that. So
you want to be more of a yes man this year, and say yes to more things.
Yeah.
I love what Mark said earlier on. I'm very similar. I was actually just talking to someone about this a couple of days ago. I think some people are too smart for their own good. And I'm not saying any of us are not smart. I'm not saying that, but like what Mark said, like, I think I'm like the perfect level of like smart, but also like not smart enough to truly understand, like, analytically my odds. Yeah. Like all that stuff. Cause, like I take a risk, and you're not going to succeed if you don't do that. And if you don't say yes to things. And I think so many people get hung up. They don't have success because they don't take the step. And
excuses. There's a bazillion excuses out there as to why you can't do something, but sometimes you just have to do it. What is it? Ready, fire, aim.
Exactly.
And Alex Vidal, or with Coldwell Banker, he put something out about it the other day, and it's true. You can't know everything when you go jump in. Sometimes you jump in and then you figure it out, and that's the best way to learn.
Yeah. Totally. 100%. We have like 7 minutes. I always love to end on kind of a fun question, because it gets me into people's Heather Ball. Courtney doesn't play with bullies. Probably very good. She is the bully, y'all.
That's right.
Yeah. I always love to ask this question because I don't know, sometimes it breeds some cool things. But what is one thing that you cannot live without? I'm not talking like, family or God or my husband. I mean, like, in a materialistic way, like, what is one thing you can't live without? And I'll start, like, for me, I guess I'll say two things. I like my AirPods are one thing that, like, I just can't, when I have to hold my phone to talk, it drives me insane. I won't do it. Like, won't pick up my phone if I have to do it. If I can't put you on speaker or put my AirPods in, like, I'm probably not going to pick up the phone. So AirPods, big thing. And then I always give a shout out. This show should be sponsored, London, by Uller, by the way. So Uller is, do you guys know what that is? It's like, it's a thing you put over your bed that filters cold water through it. And so it keeps your bed like cool. And it's amazing. It's literally
I'm not goofy enough to even know about this.
Oh, Uller, Ooler. It is literally, you can set the temperature to like as low as like, I don't know, in the 50s. you know, or I put mine at like 65, but you can have it so like in the morning when your alarm goes off, it's called warm wake, and it'll gradually warm up your bed. I don't do that because I never get out of bed if I'm like, it's just so cozy, I don't want to leave. But I've slept so much better with the Ooler, especially with like I have a girlfriend, and like if you're sleeping in the same bed, like the body heat, like you just get way too hot. Like the Ooler, you can cuddle, and you don't get hot. You can be next to each other. It's great. It's like
when you're married, you don't sleep that close together.
Yeah, well, if you had the Ooler, you might though, right? So, Mark, one thing you just materialistically can't live without.
I'm literally thinking about it. It's terrible. The only thing that's coming to mind is my ADHD medication, because I need that. But I'm trying to my phone, because like I literally can't operate without it. And
what about your fanny pack?
The fanny pack, it's a new addition, but I feel like I could live without it.
Yeah.
And I know what you mean with the AirPods. I am very much a speaker only, or I just got these JBLs, and now my ears don't hurt after having my AirPods in for hours at a time.
There you go.
So you should check those out.
Shout out to JBL.
I will still stick with my ADHD medication.
Yeah.
I'll answer.
Thank you, Adderall. Courtney Benson.
Yeah. I can't live without Xanax. So that's
mental health.
That's great. So this is a very like early 2000s. I have to have a paper calendar. You know,
amen.
My age, I have to see everything on one page, and I write it down with pencil, and I have to have a paper calendar. Like I can't do things digitally like that. I want to see it in person.
I lied.
Yeah.
We need the TP. I'm bringing the TP with me. Okay.
Oh.
I love that you still have that. Yeah. Courtney, I'm the same. I do have digital, but I have to have a physical as well. Like there's something about it. But on top of that, I have a quick to-dos like widget on my app. So at the top there, I can add like, it's just, and those are for more like quick things where I'm out and about and I don't have my physical there. And I'm like, I'm going to forget this. I click on that widget, and it's front and center. So I click on that widget, add a task, and now I can see it. Like if I go to a to-do app, it doesn't do the same for me. It needs to be like on my front home screen. And so like at the end of the day, I go and I take those things off my widget. I love that. So that's a quick
not to that level. I will literally walk through the kitchen and rip off a piece of like paper towel and grab like a marker from the junk drawer. And then I'll put it in my pocket. Like that's like.
What if you're out networking, or you're you don't have paper or pencil?
I mean, I know. I ask people to text me stuff.
Yeah, you can text yourself.
I'm also the person who never has a business card. So I just have people text me right then and there, like, oh, text me this. Or sometimes like I'll even send like on grocery lists, I will text my kids stuff so I can go back and they're like, Mom, I'm in school. Like, I know, I just needed to text somebody. So I had it note. Like, Tony,
you can text yourself. I learned that not too long ago.
It clears the dot off.
Well, that's why you have to hit send and get out of it really fast.
It's just so stressful.
Exactly.
I can't do it.
We got 1 minute left. Mark, if people looking for loans, realtor wants a new loan officer, if other loan officers have questions and want to pick your brain, man, what's the best way to reach you?
So I also never bring my business card and hate business cards, hate receiving them, and then have a pile of them laying around. I got a digital business card. Just head to mark10k.com, mark10k.com. It's got all of our social media, all of our scheduling links, all of our resources. So just hop on there. You can learn more about me, about us, and connect.
Mark10k.com. Love it. Courtney, if there's an agent that maybe wants to pick your brain, join a team, or you have someone listening that wants to buy or sell a home, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Send a note in the mail because you don't like digital.
A smoke signal.
Yeah.
I'll answer whatever. Like, I was on the phone at 9 o'clock last night. Got a text from someone. I'm a text message person. Like my voicemail should say, "Please hang up and text me."
Yeah.
There's TikTok. You can find me on TikTok.
There we go.
But yeah, I mean, they text message me. I get agents ask me all the time for advice and all that, and now we're meeting in the office because I feel like people want to do stuff and take me to coffee and do all that. But we meet down in the office. But I'm always giving advice. I have a lot of 2 cents to give.
Find her. We never talked about it enough, but find her on on TikTok, DFW Real Estate Queen, and check out her TikTok stuff.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, this was super fun. Love catching up with you both. Congrats to all your success. I can't wait for the next Real Producers event. I'll be coming real soon.
Oh, that was fun.
And so, yeah. So Courtney, congrats. Oh, Mark, I'll be sending a text to the partners today, an email to encourage you guys to post also your guys' Real Producers Vetted Business badge. Since all the agents are doing it, you guys are part of that community. So
I got my VA working on it right now.
I love that, man. Good man. So congrats, Courtney. Congrats, Mark. Appreciate you guys. And thank you, Lendon, as always, for having the show. We appreciate you guys. And tune in next week. Same time, same place, y'all.